All right, we're back for the final episode, Nightwing Prodigal Episode 4, Night of the Owls, the season finale. Let's take a look. Episode 4, Night of the Owls, finale of the original 4 episodes. Very cool. Of course, we left off with finding out Teresa is a member of the Court of Owls. So Tim's off with Alfred. They're learning about the town. Of course, Kyle, her boyfriend, we met in episode 1, played by Harv Sierra. Now we hear Bane. So, that's actually footage from the original trailer. Bane, of course, in the original trailer, played by Pete Powers, who plays Solomon Grundy in the new episodes. In this episode, Bane is actually played by my friend Aiden Pringle, who was a wrestler named Sin, so another pro wrestler in this.
I've been waiting a long time to hear you say.
So we had Sin actually play Bane, and then my friend Dave Walden, who I've referenced a couple times, who played Roman Sionis, actually voiced Bane because we felt that his accent was much more suitable for Bane. Not to mention, as you'll see with the Bane mask, we couldn't get great audio through the mask anyway, so it was actually easier to voice him over. So Nightwing on his way to save. Here we are. Kyle, Harv Sierra, and Teresa Tompkins. Who, of course, as we know, is actually a part of the Court of Owls, as we revealed at the end of the last episode.
Everything will be alright, baby. Rest now, sweetie.
I thought this was a cool reveal. As she snaps his neck and kills him. Pretty vicious.
What the hell was that?
I knew you'd be tapping my phone. And you couldn't resist a damsel in distress, could you, Jake? Especially after you let the love of your life become that cripple.
Harv had to lay on that
Teresa.
cold-ass floor.
Actually,
Again, this is, it's many years ago, so I can't remember. But this is probably 1 in the morning or something. Out in, deep Richmond, and here's Bane. I mean, I just thought, who's the biggest guy that I know? It's Aiden Pringle. He's absolutely massive. The guy looks like Bane, so he was the perfect choice. So again, we actually had him say all of his dialogue on set, of course, as we shot the scene, but with the mask, recording the audio was actually very difficult. And then we wanted Dave's accent and voice for the character anyway. But very cool mask, and an arm piece, again, also designed by Brian Milne. So the arm piece, so the mask actually hooks, there's two tubes that hook in the back. I'll talk about this fight scene in a second, but the 2 tubes hook in the back, they go right to the piece, and then we actually filled them with water with green dye in it. So we actually, again, it's hard to see with the lighting and stuff here, but there's actually green liquid moving around in the tubes as he moves, which is really cool. So I wanted that real authentic sort of luchador mask, very classic Bane style. but I wanted also that cool, you know, liquid look in there. You can see it a bit in here. And of course, a lot of this cool fighting done by my great stunt double, amazing double, Taylor Ty, was just fantastic. So this is a little bit of me, but a lot of Taylor. All the really cool stuff is Taylor. Of course, he's quite an acrobat. And again, this is like a cold, you know, concrete floor. Hard to see, but we actually sometimes had a small mat on the floor. And I think we did a pretty good job of hiding it because you really can't tell. And also props to Aiden Pringle, because this mask, I've tried this mask on before. You cannot see a thing through this mask. Like, it's green mesh over the eyes. You can't see anything, especially in the dark. And especially, you know, shooting a fight scene, moving around, and, you know, there's only a handful of lights kind of around you. Like, so Aiden basically had to do this entire fight scene blind, which is a testament to Aiden's ability, and of course also Taylor doing a great job working with him. So, and again, I talked about this before, but anytime you shoot a fight scene, it's a huge ordeal, right? It's a lot of takes, you need a lot of angles, it's a lot of rehearsal, a lot goes into it. So the fact that we did this, and of course also we only had one Nightwing suit, so we would shoot, I can't remember who we shot first, but let's say we shot all of Taylor's stuff and then had to go back and put me in the suit and shoot all of my stuff and then edit it all together. And of course again, Aiden's blind the whole time. So this was cool. So we pull it out. So you can see a bit of the green liquid in there right now when the light hits it right. Pulls it out, Bane starts to lose his power from the venom. This was a funny shot too, because we wanted to kick the stick up and I would catch it and stab him in the stomach with it. And we were rehearsing it and we're trying and trying and trying, and I'm trying to kick it up with this boot and catch it, and I can't get it every time. And we're like, okay, we're gonna run out of time, we gotta shoot this scene right now. So we call action, I kick it up, I grab it, I stab him, and it's like I hit it. The one time that I did it was the one time we recorded it, so it was hilarious because I just could not get it in the rehearsal, and then we finally nailed it. A couple great actors come in to
What the hell are you talking?
portray the Court of Owls. Wanted a couple of different sort of looks, a couple of different movement styles here.
We know about your parents. We know about Barbara Gordon.
Hartley, he's actually got a YouTube show about comic books, which is really cool. We've been on there a couple times to discuss the
How
show.
much I really hate birds.
Evidently, there are many things you do not know about yet.
What do you want with me?
So we get a little bit of exposition and some reveals here.
The visions, the memories,
And I highly recommend going back and watching the show
to repress them.
without me talking over top of it. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and you'll get all of the dialogue that you're probably missing with me talking over top of it.
A common side effect for young trainees, especially
Better understand the story.
brainwashed by someone the likes of me.
What are you talking about?
Your childhood, Richard. Don't
But here we dig into a little bit of the Court of Owls trying to recruit Nightwing as a child in as a potential Talon, which is again something sort of from the comic books
Wrong.
that we took elements from the comics and some famous Batman stories, including of course the Court of Owls storyline among others, and just kind of weaved them in. Wanted this to be an original story but have elements from some others. I didn't want to directly adapt any story on its own.
It really is tragic that you escaped the grasp of the owls once. But lightning will not strike twice.
This is a lie.
And those, of course, are the Court of Owls masks from the box set. There's like a box set you could buy that had the graphic novel and the mask in it. So we got two of those, and then we put black, fabric behind the eyes.
It does not matter where
And this is really cool. JD did this Batmobile, sorry. All visual effects, very, very cool.
we know you could be a
3D model or whatever.
You're murderers.
We'll
Did that. That was super cool.
for a peace greater than all.
Of course, Oracle operating the Batmobile
Trained by the Dark Knight. And
remotely, right? So no one is in the Batmobile.
Has to save the teacher.
Without his own identity, he is like soft clay, ready to be sculpted into a masterpiece.
And this is again another Nightwing speech coming up that we took elements from some actual
Never.
lines in the
I already
comics.
defeated your muscle.
Dick, get out of there now!
You really think there would be only one?
And there you have Deathstroke, actually portrayed by our costume designer, Brian Milne,
Who do I think I am?
who had an amazing Deathstroke cosplay
And I'll answer.
costume already, so we had him step in for that, which was really cool. And of course, he appears in the sequel, Nightwing: The Darkest Night, as well.
To be Robin, but I'm still too optimistic to be Batman. I'm Barbara's love, Bruce Wayne's adopted son, and the last living member of the Flying Grace.
So we wanted the Court of Owls to have a couple different assassins, right? The Talon, who we don't see in the show, but Bane, Deathstroke, multiple people in their employ. And of course, he shoots up the building to end the show. So pretty cool. Now we're going to stick around because we do have a post-credit scene. So this has been really fun, actually going back and kind of revisiting the show, right? It's been so many years since we released these episodes, so a lot of fun to go back and watch them and kind of relive and remember the memories of making the show. It was a huge undertaking to do it. It was a ton of work. As you can see on the credits here, we had a lot of people involved. Like, this is a small little fan film, but you can see here all the names, just all the people that came out and helped out, and how many people it takes to do a show like this. I mean, just like an insane amount of names here, right? And then we did a very small Kickstarter just to get a little bit of funds to put the show together. And as you can see, just to get a ton of people on here, right? So it takes many people to make even a little short film. If you ever made a film yourself, you'll understand just how many people it takes to do something like this, especially when you got fight scenes and scenes with extras and visual effects and all this stuff. And this was a little something we added last minute. We shot this a lot later. Just kind of a little scene to wrap things up and tease something kind of crazy. As you can probably see behind me here, I know the light's probably not great. I have a large collection of Green Lantern action figures. I've also got a Green Lantern Kyle Rayner sleeve tattoo, full sleeve, all Green Lantern characters. So pretty big Green Lantern fan, and as you'll see in a second, this teases something that had not been done in the comics. Big fan of the DC's Blackest Night storyline, where you see a bunch of the characters become different lanterns. And I thought this might be something fun to kind of tease. And just something a little different to end on, right? So you get a touching moment with these two. They're not getting back together.
Richard Grayson of Earth, you have the ability to overcome great fear.
This was fun to shoot out of a seawall in Vancouver, and there it is. Green Lantern ring. To end on a crazy cliffhanger. Amazing. So thanks for joining me to recap all 4 episodes, and I will come back at some point and do the sequel, Nightwing: The Darkest Night. Thank you.